News that's just coming in the cash for query scandal, there's been a big twist. Now, accused businessman Hiranandani has filed an affidavit. India Today has accessed Hiranandani's affidavit. He says, I used Mahua's parliamentary login. Also goes ahead and says that it was he who in fact drafted and posted questions. This is a big twist coming in this case. My colleague Paulami Saha is now joining me on the phone line. Paulami, a big twist now. Can you give us the details of Darshan Hiranandani's affidavit?
That's right. This is an affidavit which he says is a sworn affidavit that Darshan Hiranandani has basically released, and the Hiranandani group in fact claims they've sent it to the Ethics Committee, remember, which is already investigating the complaint which has been filed by Nishikant Dubey, BJP Member of Parliament, against Mahua Moitra. Some very damning allegations that have been made in this letter by Darshan Hiranandani, where he says that Mahua Moitra had given him access to her Parliament login credentials, through which he in fact could pose questions directly on her behalf, posing, of course, as if Mahua Moitra herself is posing questions in Parliament vis-a-vis the Adani group, and of course the government allegedly cheating the Adani group. He said that Mahua Moitra in fact was very ambitious and wanted to quickly make a name for herself at the national level, and she was advised by people close to her that the only way to do that was to target Prime Minister Modi. But because of Prime Minister Modi's impeccable record, it was then suggested that she could then go ahead and attack Gautam Adani and his company because of the close ties that he in fact had with the BJP, and because both came from the state of Gujarat. So she in fact reached out to Darshan Hiranandani to help her out, in fact, with posing of those questions that she could raise in Parliament in order to target allegedly Gautam Adani and the Adani group. Darshan Hiranandani does admit to the fact that he did use her Parliament login, and he in fact posed a lot of those questions, but he in fact says also very in a damning thing for Mahua Moitra, that she was basically asking him for luxury items. She asked him for the renovation of an official bungalow at 9B Telegraph Lane as well. All of these things, he says, he did somewhat under pressure because she was very assertive, she was very aggressive, but then again is admitting to having very close relations with her since he met her for the first time in 2017 at the Global Bengal Business Summit. So clearly, this is, the trouble seems to be mounting for Mahua Moitra. Her case, of course, her defamation suit against Nishikant Dubey and the lawyer concerned in this case, Jai Anant Dehadrai, who is also, she claims, her ex-boyfriend. The case that he's made before the CBI, she's of course filed cases against these individuals, and that case will be heard by the Delhi High Court tomorrow, Aishwarya.
Right, Paulami, we are seeing complaint and counter-complaint being filed. So definitely, all eyes will be on the defamation case against Nishikant Dubey. Paulami, just stay on with me. BJP spokesperson Shehzad Poonawalla is now joining me on the story. Shehzad, we have seen complaint and then counter-complaint. The big question now will be what to expect tomorrow, as it is Mahua Moitra who has now filed a defamation case against Nishikant Dubey.
Aishwarya, in light of the serious allegations that have been made by not one but two individuals, and both of these are in the nature of confessional affidavits, there is complete indication that there is a compromise of the parliamentary system, of parliamentary ethics and privileges, a larger compromise where the parliamentary security system has been handed over to a private person in exchange of quid pro quo, corruption, alleged corruption, and a conspiracy to target the larger national and economic interests of this country. And therefore, in all this in mind, Mahua Moitra has no moral stand to continue as a member of parliament until the inquiry is over. There's already an inquiry going on. So, given the high standards she sets for the entire world, it would be fit on her part to step down, or else Mamata Banerjee must immediately, without wasting a moment, sack this person unless the TMC is hand in glove with this entire affair. And therefore, it would be in the fitness of things that Mamata Banerjee and the TMC, which have been ostrich-like and have been completely away from this entire issue, I don't know why. Perhaps they want to keep it hidden, it's embarrassing for them, or perhaps they have a stake in it. For whatever reasons they've kept away, the TMC must immediately sack this member of parliament if she's unwilling to step down herself.
Thank you, Shahzad. Shahzad Poonawala there, Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson, putting things in perspective and saying that it is now high time that the TMC Supremo, Mamata Banerjee, needs to take action against Mahua Moitra. Siddharth Zorabi is also now joining me on the broadcast. Siddharth, we are now seeing a big corporate, not just Adani, but the other big corporate of our country, Hiranandani, also being dragged into this. Darshan Hiranandani making it very clear and also putting things out and in fact agreeing to the fact that he did have the login and also saying that it was he who used to provide questions and details about the Adani group to Mahua Moitra.
Well, Aishwarya, if your question was what this really means going forward as far as the implications are concerned, there are three things to note. One, sources have told us that this statement that has been filed by Darshan Hiranandani is with Parliament. It's also now with police agencies, and therefore the next steps in this regard would be, as our other speakers have been speaking about, the liability that will arise due to some of these allegations that have been made. The second element is to do with the business of the Hiranandani group. As this affidavit makes it clear, Darshan Hiranandani says that he is based in Dubai. And if we add this to what was said in the earlier affidavit by the advocate who first made all of these details public, including the allegation that as many as 50 questions had been posed by the TMC member of parliament to target the Adani group, it's clear that most of these questions, and some specifically in particular related to direct business interests of Darshan Hiranandani. Going forward from here, it is clear that this matter will not only involve parliamentary proceedings, but will also now definitely lead to issues that center around unauthorized access of a IT system. Nishikant Dubey, the BJP member of parliament, has already taken this matter to the IT ministry. I'm also told by my sources that this matter has reached the CBI. We'll have to wait as to what they will do, but there is definitely now several issues with regard to unauthorized access of IT systems and consequent police and criminal action that may now be possible.
So that's one of the questions now that, that come to the mind is the fact that will we see some of these things spilling onto the corporate world in our country? Do you believe there will be some quakes in corporate India?
It's from the questions that have been mentioned in the first detailed 39-page complaint, it is clear that as many as 50 questions by the TMC MP had been targeted at the Adani group. Obviously, if so many questions are being asked of one corporate group by one MP, and now you can see that the person in question, Darshan Hiranandani, acknowledges in this latest affidavit as well that there were some business interests that were part of his concerns. And the earlier document goes on to mention all of this in great detail. I think there will be several questions that will now be posed of Darshan Hiranandani and the business interests. And I must also remind our viewers that the original filing by Jai Anant Dehadrai had in para number 4 mentioned that some of the parliamentary questions, and I'm reading from that, pertain to legal issues which Sri Hiranandani, Darshan Hiranandani, was facing from the revenue authorities relating to the discovery of his undeclared offshore trusts, which reportedly contained over $60 million. So there's a lot of detail that is contained in that original document which set this off. And now with Darshan Hiranandani coming out and giving his side of the story, I'm sure that if he is called to depose, as far as Parliament is concerned, and that proceeding, I must remind our viewers, will be separate from any criminal proceedings that may be launched, there will be a lot to answer for.
So, Darabi, please just stay on with me. We are getting some more breaking news with regards to this quake, which has shook up not just the parliament, but also the corporate world.